Big exciting news to start your Friday evening as you go into the weekend as Bernie Sanders and Senator Josh Hawley step up for you big time and tell the Senate, you know what, we'll give you a 1-week extension for your congressional budget bill, but when you come back next week, understand this. If you don't send out a stimulus check to millions of Americans, we're going to block any more funding to the federal government, and it will be a shutdown. Hashtag a stimulus check or shutdown went national today as Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley adopted the position of this channel, which is give a stimulus check or we're shutting down the federal government. They agreed to give an extension of the federal budget bill, but only for a few days, because coming next Monday and Tuesday, they're back and they're making it very clear. Do our bill with a stimulus check and send it out right now during the holidays, or we'll ensure that the bill that you want to pass for the federal government's funding will never see light of day. Meantime, breaking news tonight as Joe Biden talks about a series of new cabinet members in ways in which it suggests that he may try to go around Congress to give stimulus relief to you. Does this include the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI? Does it include the hazard pay? And how about EIDL grants and eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance? Breaking developments just tonight. And also breaking developments across the board tonight include the state of Ohio, Nebraska, Nashville, Tennessee, and elsewhere, where states are stepping up and giving money to citizens in ways we did not even see 24 hours ago. So if you're in a state like Kentucky or Ohio or Louisiana and Alabama and had to have difficulty finding CARES Act 1 grants, guess what? We found it for you. It's a great evening. We're going to the weekend. We haven't yet buttered our butter. That's tomorrow morning, but I'm so glad you're here. And you may want to get that butter ready because it's about to get toasty. Let's do it. It's Evenings LALATE. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Evenings LALATE, and we're made it to the weekend. And, we worked every single day this week, unlike someone else. Yeah, she left yesterday. And she said, I'll see you on the highway, my way of the highway. But they did not invite her to the casino because she did not have $12 ice cream. Well, the great news as you sit here today is that I'm getting viewers money right now. Not 5 days from now, not 5 months from now. And now the viewers are ensuring that you get money as well. One viewer said a really nice comment just seconds before I went on air about Ohio, because she had heard a lot of comments from Ohio in the video that went live right before this, the Being a Mitch, in which people are saying, I'm just having problems with Ohio. Why are we having so much problems in Ohio? Even though we have a volunteer just for Ohio, get you rent. The viewer's like, tell these people that this is what I found all the stuff from for Ohio, so share it with them. And I did. So that's the spirit of this channel. Please subscribe. Please subscribe because you want to stay with the channel that's ensuring that you get money right now. And every day, more viewers get thousands and thousands of dollars around the clock. Also like this video. It really helps with the algorithm rankings. In tonight's video, I'll go over the breaking details tonight about your stimulus check, about the amount of the stimulus check, about how soon you would get the stimulus check. And then I'll go to what's going on with Joe Biden for that cabinet. Really quite interesting tonight. And then I'll go to SSI and SSDI. And finally, the states. So with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here tonight is that the push to get the stimulus check is really at the finish line, but just not over it. Why am I saying this? Is because of the following. The President of the United States has told Senator Josh Hawley, the Republican out of Missouri, that he wants to do either $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check. Item number one. And that Josh asked the president, well, would you veto it, please, if it doesn't have in it? And the president suggested he would likely veto any bill that didn't have in it. But they did another route. And what was the other route? The other route were Democrats in the Senate. These are people who don't answer Nancy Pelosi. They're in the Senate. They're not in the House of Representatives. There are Democrats, and they did not listen to Nancy Pelosi's tirade the other day about, well, you got to follow the moderates bill. No, they're not following the moderates bill. They're following their hearts, and their hearts are you need a stimulus check. So they wrote, we're going to not approve anything for the CR unless there's a stimulus check in it. Now, not approving something for the CR, I'll tell you more about what that is in a second, does not mean they won't give an extension, but that came to a head minutes ago. Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley appeared on the Senate floor today and said, you know what? You want a 1-week extension? We'll do this. We'll give you a 1-week extension, but when you come back on Monday, guess what? There are no more extensions. You're going to pass our standalone stimulus check bill, or we're shutting down the federal government. No more extensions, no more excuses. This is what we're going to do. It's only one darn stimulus check. And let me remind you, it shouldn't cost any money. There's still $800 billion of CARES Act 1 money sitting in the SBA that can be repurposed for a stimulus check, and it only costs $300 billion for a stimulus check. Yeah, that is still there. Every day I wake up and I'm worried it's gone. But it's still there. $800 billion only costs $300 billion for a $1,200 stimulus check. There's far more enough money to do it. So suddenly we have a standalone bill from Senator Josh, who introduced it yesterday, and Senator Josh's bill says $1,200 for adults, $500 for children. It may have some language that needs to be fixed up. You saw me cover that earlier today. It does not have PUA, UI, eviction moratorium, and mortgage forbearance. Those need to be added in there because it wasn't originally intended for that. But if you added those things in there, call it for a vote on Monday or Tuesday, then you're like, okay, we're done. We're done. All the proposals want to extend PUA and UI for 1 month. We got that. Now, proposals, but not all the proposals, want to do eviction moratorium. Need to get that in there. And a mortgage forbearance. Need to get that in there. Anything beyond that, don't really need to get in anywhere. You can put it in the casino in the back of where the Cadillacs park. You don't need anything else in there. Eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, stimulus check, and PUA UI. Done. Done. Put it in Senator Josh's bill, and it's all done. And this is the incredible great news as we sit here tonight. For the first time, we've been doing this for a while. For the first time, we literally had 2 senators stand up and say, enough is enough. You're going to do a stimulus check or else. No one has spoken to these people until now. I mean, I would have spoken to them this way the first day. You not see me when I get angry. As that line in the was it The Godfather? I think it was The Godfather. You don't want to see me when I'm angry. They finally got up and not particularly angry, but very emphatic. There's not going to be this unless you send out a stimulus check. You got the message? Well, there you go. Now, what is a CR? A CR is a continuing resolution. Well, what's a continuing resolution? It's a budget bill. Oh, for who? Our budget? No. For the federal government. They got to do this every 3 months. They got to pass a budget bill. It doesn't have stimulus normally in it, but it was the idea of this channel to put stimulus in it. Well, then they started putting the wrong stimulus in it. So then we said, wait a second, we need a stimulus check or we're going to shut down the federal government. Hashtag stimulus checks or shut down. And then we got heard. As Bernie Sanders says, you know what? Send out a stimulus check or we're shutting it down. Send out a stimulus check or we're shutting it down because we're not going to sign your CR. We're not going to give you your budget bill for the federal government. We will have it shut down because you're not sending out a stimulus check. And I've been asking for a stimulus check for just a while. How long has Bernie Sanders been asking for a stimulus check? Since May, when Bernie Sanders, VP-elect Harris, and Ed Markey wrote the bill, $2,000 a month, every month for 6 months until the pandemic's over, until unemployment goes away. Now, you might be wondering, what is this him giving up on multiple stimulus checks? No. So I want to make that very clear. Multiple stimulus checks, January, hazard pay, January, $2,400 SSI and SSDI, January, hazard pay, January, CDC grant, January, EIDL, January, EIDL grant, January. All those things are January. This is supposed to be emergency relief for just a few weeks. And that's why people are sort of mocking Nancy Pelosi about this, because she's like, I need 5 years of grants for Andrew Cuomo in an emergency bill. It's 5 years, Nancy. Well, and it's grants? What are you doing? Well, it's an emergency because, It's just urgent. No, it's not urgent. Well, I need some money for some for the airlines. That have $500 trillion in the bank already. That's not an emergency. And I need some money for the hotels. That's not an emergency. Well, I need some money for restaurants, which have had 5 rounds, 20 rounds of PPP. That's not an emergency. So suddenly people are just realizing she keeps on going asking for non-emergency things. And now she's sort of latched on to Mookin. I never could get his name right. So even when Sir Lloyd says his name, I can't get it right. I call it the Manchin family. The Manchin family and Romney. It's just, suddenly people are realizing none of this is stimulus for Americans. It's stimulus for corporate America. And we need to stop doing this. And so suddenly you have all these Democrats, independents, and Republicans saying enough is enough. And so as you start the new morning, what you should be thinking? Well, what you should be thinking is that finally people are fighting for you. Finally, people are saying this way or else. And finally, there actually is a path to really stranglehold this. And the stranglehold is shutting down the government. Now, how about the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI? Where would that land? That would come in January. How about hazard pay January? How much do I have to do anything for the $2,400 of SSI? Do I have to do anything for hazard pay? Currently, we don't know how hazard pay is going to be formulated. The original incarnation of it was badly written and required the employer to apply for you. And that is still the hot mess express unto itself. The $2,400 SSI and SSDI, you would have to do absolutely nothing. It would appear on your current return, on your current benefits every month, and then the step ups, you wouldn't have to do anything for it. It would be all automatic. It's one of the few things that I cover on the show that's automatic. But then what did Joe Biden say this evening? That is in the breaking developments tonight. He had these strange words in a week in which I just earlier slammed him for not talking about stimulus. I mean, how can you go a whole week where stimulus is the number one topic in America and not really do anything, not give a pep chat, not say this is good, this is bad, simply stay silent? It's not a good look, Joe. Joe, you can't do that anymore. But what did Joe do tonight? He talked about his new cabinet picks and how his new cabinet picks will use the outer edges of their authority to get you relief. Really interesting. What does it mean? It sort of sounds like they're going to just really go as far as they can go to ensure that you get relief without act of Congress. That's what it sort of sounds like. It smells like that, which I sort of love. Let me show you an example. He announced one of the people, he's like, well, they need to ensure you have an eviction moratorium. That's one of the great things about Joe so far is he always is talking about eviction moratorium. You know me, I talk about eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, stimulus check. I talk about the same sort of things, SSI and SSDI. But he clearly always talks about, so he says, this person will go to the outer edges to get you an eviction moratorium. Okay. I don't know what that means. Now, any president can do an eviction moratorium as an executive order. So does he mean he's going to do it and they're going to enforce it? But then he did it when talking about other groups, which is other cabinet picks, which is really quite encouraging, meaning that certain agencies have authority to do things. And so he's going to sort of instruct them to go as far as they can go. Parenthesis, why? Question mark. Why is he doing this? He didn't answer why. He didn't say, why am I doing this? And of course, no reporter, asked him, well, why are you doing this, Mr. Biden? My parenthesis is because he doesn't want to deal with Mitch. Don't deal with Mitch. Why am I whispering? Because, don't want to wake up Mitch, or the lobsters. So there you go. That's all really encouraging. Meantime, the great news when we're turning to state for state stimulus is that really the following. Viewers are starting to really understand that if you're in a particular state, and I don't want to name a state because I don't know all the nuances of every state, but if you're in a state and you have looked and there just is nothing from your state or your city or county, they just don't give any money out. It's just, what's going on? I just don't like my state. Then the good news is that other viewers are hearing those comments and saying, wait a second, your state's giving out rent, but just not from your state, from this private organization. And this other private organization is paying utilities, and this private organization is paying for food, and this private organization is paying for gifts. So the great news is that viewers have literally just blanketed the surfaces of the problem states, if there are problem states. I don't like to say anything sort of negative about a state, but states where viewers have had impasses in finding relief for CARES Act 1 money. Other viewers will say, there's money here. I'm going to give you examples of where we do know states where the privates have done incredible stuff. Rhode Island, Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, these privates, Texas, these privates are doing incredible things. So if you are in those states, don't be saying there's nothing, because there is a lot. Next, it's important to understand that that charities are doing incredible work and well for holiday gifts. And here is one of my call to actions, is if you're a viewer and you know of charities that are giving Christmas gifts to people over age 16, certainly drop in the comments or share it with some of the volunteers, because some viewers have said there is sort of a lack of charities for giving gifts for adults. Or not that I know that that's true. So I do know of one or two organizations which I cover on Purple Power Live, which comes up right after this, for gifts. But if you know more that are good for giving gifts for adults that may have difficulty paying for gifts during the holidays, certainly share that information as well. Finally, one message. I do get now and then people asking, is there rent grant for homeless people? Absolutely. They are paying first, last, security, and several months, but it all depends. It all depends. The answer is it all depends, and I have heard viewers get money for homeless viewers. As always, thank you for tuning in. Join me next at Purple Power Live, and then join me tomorrow morning, early morning to LA at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed by 6:30. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay in LA for more.